Hey everybody, Kevin Iole here, UFC 305, August 17th in the US, August 18th in Australia. Main event is going to be a good one, a big rivalry fight, the middleweight championship between the former champion Israel Adesanya and my guest right now, the current and reigning middleweight champ of the world, Dricus du Plessis. How are you, champ?
Yeah, man, good to see you. Can't be better, man. Can't be better. We're close to the fight, ready to go. Yeah, I'm so happy the time's finally come.
Very, very quickly, but you think you set a Guinness record for the longest stare down after that ticket on sale press conference when the two of you went nose to nose for so long?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't planned at all, but there's no way you plan these things. You go and plan. When you have two guys that's going to go out there and try and kill each other, when you have them face to face, well, at least in my mind and in how I feel about this. When you look into your opponent's eyes, it's something that's it's almost a fight before the fight. It's
Right.
always intense, and I think that stare down was a perfect showcase and a perfect almost. You can see exactly what intensity is going to come to this fight. What intensity the fight's going to be. I believe those weigh-ins, face-offs, all that presses. In a lot of cases, it sets the pace for the fight.
Do you think you get into your opponent's head when you do that at all, or is it more of a selling thing, to get the fans excited?
Yeah, I have to be honest with you. Once I stand up there and facing my opponent, selling is not at the top of my list. It's all about being ready and showing my opponent that he's going to have to deal with me come fight night. And, him feeling my energy and knowing that he's going to have to deal with this come fight night.
You after you beat Robert Whittaker at UFC 290, and just what I got to say, I know I've told you this before, but I thought it was a phenomenal performance in that fight against a really great fighter in Robert Whittaker. The two of you had a stare down. After that fight, there were some questions asked of Dana White about you and Israel fighting, and one of the questions, I think it was the first question in the press conference, was, there were racial overtones to this fight, and I think it was because you made that comment about I'm the African fighter here that Israel did not take. I did not take your comments to be racist, right, or in any way, but I think, he obviously did and some other people did. Can you kind of explain what you meant by that, and do you feel there's any racial overtones to this fight at all?
I honestly do not think that question came from the fact that I talked about being the African fighter. I think those comments, and they were very just, after that stare down came from the words that he screamed over the mic. I think that's where that came from. Mm-hmm. Those were the racial undertones. It had absolutely nothing with my comments. Am I the first residing African champion? Absolutely. That was fact. Race was never even. I can't even understand how it became part of a discussion. It was never. It makes zero sense. So yes, that question was just that was asked, but that was all from his side and the way he, didn't conduct himself in a manner that not only a champion, but anybody should in front of the rest of the world.
You've been eyeing him for a while because he has had the belt. Both of you being kickboxers and everything. How do you see your advantage in this fight? I mean, I know you have really good grappling. He's shown throughout his career, very good takedown defense. But where do you see your advantage over Israel in the fight?
I think my advantage is just the pure dog in me. I honestly believe that if you put us in there, score us on grappling, wrestling, striking, kicking, clinching, anything that you can do in a fight, if you score us exactly the same, it's just a pure dog. My heart, my desire to win and to be the greatest. That pulls me through in a fight, and that's what's going to separate us. That's what's going to be the big factor in this fight, and like in a lot of my other fights, it's going to be the fact that I wanted more and I have that dog in me, and I'm always willing to die when I get in there.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Going to his, it's not normal for the champion to have to go to the challenger's, home country, right? So you're going to Australia to fight him. I know he doesn't live in Perth, but you're going to his home country to fight him. Was there ever any hesitation to go to Perth to fight him? I mean, or do you think that makes the fight even bigger and more money for the two of you guys?
No, not at all. No, 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 no. I didn't have any issue with this. We have the national rugby team, the Springboks, playing against the Aussies, the Wallabies, here in Perth. The Saturday, we are fighting on the Sunday. It's going to be a massive sporting weekend in Perth, and I have no problem being here, even if it is the crowd favorite. If they do, um, if I'm the one being booed, it's been like that my whole UFC career. Remember, I'm fighting in the United States. I'm fighting American fighters. I'm fighting in when I came to Perth, when I went to Canada, I mean, I was a massive crowd favorite in Strickland. He was a massive crowd favorite. Fighting Whittaker, Robert Whittaker is a crowd favorite wherever he goes. It's Robert Whittaker, and coming here is going to be no different to me. I mean, it's not whether the crowd likes me or hates me. It doesn't have any effect on how I fight.
You know what gets me sometimes is like I always think you guys are the best in the world, and wherever you fight, it doesn't really matter. And yet, even things like the odds, which are usually really accurate, right? Adesanya is favored in this. You're the defending champion. He's coming off 2 out of 3 losses. And just to pull this up here at DraftKings Sportsbook, they have Israel Adesanya as a minus 135 favorite, and they have you at plus $1.14. So he's almost 7-5, not quite 7-5, but a fairly significant favorite for being the challenger.
Yeah, absolutely. But you say the odds are usually accurate, but I haven't been the favorite for a very long time, and they've been wrong 8 times.
Yeah. Speaking of being wrong, there was a controversy surrounding the decision in your fight with Sean Strickland. Some people thought Strickland won. Strickland, of course, thought he won. Do you feel like if you get past this, you owe him a title fight because he was the champion? And I do not subscribe to the BS that you have to take it from the champion. I think it's scored round by round, and whoever wins each round, wins the fight. But, some people have that you have to take it from the champion, and they thought your victory wasn't decisive enough over him. Do you feel you owe Sean a rematch in your next defense?
I don't owe Sean anything. Yeah, like you said, I mean, the rules are pretty clear. It's scored round by round. The fact that it was a split decision is the biggest shocking factor for me. It was a very clear win for me. But like I said, it's for me, the biggest fight is the fight that I want. The fight the fans want to see. At the end of the day, they are the ones that pay for the tickets, buy the pay-per-views, and they are the ones that watch this sport. So obviously, for me, fighting the Adesanya fight was by far the biggest fight that we could do. It's probably the biggest fight of the year, one of them at least. And the Strickland fight, sure. I mean, if that's the fight that makes sense, that's the fight that I'm going to fight. I mean, I would have had no problem in doing the rematch. I even told the UFC, I said, there's no problem. If they want to do the rematch, or if Izzy isn't ready to fight or anything, Strickland rematch, I'm more than willing. Even in Vegas, in his hometown, I have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. And they decided to go with the Adesanya fight, which is great for me. Either way, it would have been great because it was both of them were big fights. Myself and Strickland would be even bigger the second time around. And but I mean, this fight is huge. So yeah, after this, we'll approach whatever comes after this. But it will be interesting to see if Strickland's even close to the conversation when, with the Khamzat Chimaev and Robert Whittaker fight happening soon.
And that'll be interesting. We've got a couple more minutes left. I just want to run a few things past you. I'm not trying to start a controversy. I just want to tell you something somebody said. There's a lot of people that are always trying to move up. Leon Edwards said before UFC 304, hey, I want to win this fight and move up to the next division. And, that's become kind of like the vogue thing. Everybody wants to become a double champion. And Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion, has said he wanted to be a two-way champion. Now that Bilal Muhammad has the welterweight championship, he said, well, I can't fight him. We're brothers. So lo and behold, today, his coach, Javier Mendez, said, Islam is the best fighter in the world, and he's thinking of moving up to 185. I guess my question becomes this. Do you think it's getting a little bit out of control, this jumping of divisions? Because this is not like boxing where some of the weight classes are 4 or 7 pounds apart. I mean, Islam is a 155-pound fighter, and as much respect as I have for Javier Mendez, if he jumped up to fight you, that's 30 pounds north of where he is right now. Do you think this is getting a little bit out of control?
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, that just sounds. But I mean, yeah, everybody can dream, right? Everybody. I always say, never cap your dreams, and dream big, dream big. But he's dreaming real big. I'm very big. But yeah, I mean, of course, in the sport, everybody wants that. I mean, especially after it's been done, I completely understand going up to another division and fighting for another belt, because there comes a stage where it makes sense.
Right.
And you know, Makachev right now, there's people still left to fight. But listen, I'm not the one who's going to say no, not yet. I'm one for one saying you have to at very least, defend your belt three times, maybe four, depending on how the division looks. Defending your belt three times before even ever considering going up
Yeah.
in another weight division, unless there is a special circumstance, which makes sense. But yeah, and I 100% agree that people win a belt and they immediately go, I want to double. You're not Conor McGregor. He was the first to do it, and he did it in spectacular fashion.
Yes, he did.
And he, he was the trendsetter. He was the pioneer in doing that. So now everybody tries to be like that. That's not the case. I mean, I understand double champ. I also want to go and become a double champ in my career, but I'm not at all thinking about doing it anytime soon. The first and is to be the most dominant middleweight in the world, and then going up a weight loss and then cementing that legacy over there.
Well, he starts with a title defense, UFC 305 on August 17th in the U.S. Dricus du Plessis, appreciate you, brother. Good luck against Israel Adesanya.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.